Hello, Pre-10 football fans. Maul here with Maul's Minutes for Week 4 in the NJCFFL. Everything you need to know about the week that was in 7 minutes or less. What will our Pre-10 pugilists put up this week? The phrase, "I brought you into this world and I can take you out," was heard muttered once or twice by Coach Mikey Belt as his gravy legs visited the sunny veranda in Miami to face off against his own daughter, Coach Catherine, and the URMEs. The latter was led by Wild Goose Chase Brown with 27.4 points. Huge! Fans of the program also know PSBN loves a good name stock, and the URMEs were lifted by one of the best in Chubba Hubbard with 20.1 points. Still, lackluster performances from Matthew the Chin Stafford, Neon Keon Coleman, and the like seemed to dampen the light in the URME sky. For the legs, it was Tony, forget about it, Pollard, and moving on up, Justin Jefferson were standouts, but a Monday night stinker by Aiden Mufasa Hutchinson ended up being the difference. URMEs 89.6, Gravy Legs 83.9. With both teams coming in at 1-2, there was a lot to be proven as Coach Andrews Funky Butt Lovin' headed to the classic Bread and Butter Bowl to face off against defending champion Coach Cody and the Cumberland Crew. Brock, Pretty Purdy, and Malik, Won't You Be My Neighbors were the top scorers for a game Funky Bunch, but man, was all else miserable. No wonder this team only has one win. Sheesh! The Champs crew were dominant in the air as Nico Smooth, Whiskey Collins, and Jaden Woodwind Reed obliterated their projections en route to the blowout. Crew 118.4, Butts 81.5. The Georgia O'Keefe Vagina Flowers and Coach Marion faced off against Coach Eric and get to the chopper in a Week 4 Predator-esque slaughter. The Flowers, thorns abound, were led by CJ Shroud of Turin, scoring 26.95 points. And no PSBN segment would be complete without some kicker points, baby. Young Ho Koo booted a massive 17.7 points. Those scores combined with an outstanding day by the living god, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and the route was on. The lone bright spot for the Choppers was Jordan ADHD Addison, who came to play with force, scoring 21.4 points. Unfortunately, for Coach Eric, that was practically all that they could muster. The crash and burn of the Jets continues. Flowers, 110.3. Choppers, 64.85. The season started with such high hopes for Nick Cage and Coach Kylan, but things don't always start perfectly. Same for the visiting Blimps of Coach Paul. Both teams 1-2, but something had to give in week number 4. Nippon International took the early control with outstanding scoring from Mike Evans and Aaron Jones. They also got a huge lift by Captain Christian Kirk and his 15.6 points, but the lead was tenuous at best. You see, the Blimps seem to have been all in on Lions this year, and that strategy, at least for this week, paid dividends. Jared Whooping Goff scored 33.6 to lead all scorers in the matchup, while fellow Lions Jameer Staying Alive Gibbs and the Jet Jamo Williams added touchdowns as well. Blimps 131.3 overtake Nick Cage 99.6. Now, Wizards often get confused with necromancers, what with the wands and pointy hats and all. So as coaches Jeff and Katie and their Cooter Wolves welcomed in the Pine Lake Park Tombstones and Coach Scott, there was reason for some optimism. After all, what match were zombies against real magic? Like that of Sam Magic Man Darnold scoring 23.25 points. Stefan Can You Digs It adding 16 and spunky name stock up-and-comer lad Don't Call Me Scottish McConkey scoring 15.2. There seemed to be a chance, some slight daylight as the Wolves outdid their expectation. But the lights went out in both the stadium and the eyes of Jeff and Katie as the dead men went to work. Compact Disc Lamb and Dak Prescott did it again, combining for 43.5 for 10 points, well over their projections. And Cuckoo Kachoo, Brian Robinson, and the New Order, Kyren Williams, brave crawled their way to excellence. Tombstone stay undefeated, 123.95. Cooter Wolves, 108.15. We've made mention of it, but it does bear repeating. The Beavers are scoring machines and need to be taken seriously. They hosted Tinky Winky Stinky Pinkies in Week 4 and look to continue on the path of victory they began just last week. The Bucktooth Beavers were led by DeAndre Love Story Swift, who said yes to 26 points. Smokin' Joe Burrow scored 20.6, and Curious George Pickens added another 12.8. The Pinks were certainly stinky this week, putrid in fact. Travis Heartbreaker Kelsey led the squad with 12.4 points, and DK Metcalf beat his projection as well with 11.9, but the rest was abject failure. Kissin' Cousins, Smooth Criminal to Hill, Brock Bowers, Amir White, yuck, and more yuck. Somebody needs to wash their hands. Cooter Institute Beavers, 107.3. Dinky Winky, Stinky Pinkies, 61. Barf. Another week in the books, PSBN fans. Stay tuned to the channel as Syke and I break down the matchup of the 3-0 Cincinnati Heartbreak and the 2-1 Roswell 51ers, as well as the 3-0 Keys to Victory and the 2-1 Drop and Loads. If you enjoyed the show, please take the time to click that like button, subscribe, or leave a comment. We live for your feedback, and it helps us make the best slate of programming for you, our loyal viewers. What would you like to see from us as this year progresses? Do you enjoy listening to any of Gage Laser's advice? Have you tried any of Dr. Fung's miracle cures, and have they helped you? Let us know. I'll be back next week as we cover all the things of note in the NJCFFL during week number 5.